Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, Hot Fudge Sundae y en la nueva Creamy Chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
Get into your body's vitals with the Vitals app on Apple Watch.
I wanna get into my body and let my skin do the talking. I wanna feel like I'm myself again.
The Vitals app tracks key overnight metrics so you can spot changes in your health before you feel them. The Vitals app on Apple Watch. iPhone XS or later required. The Vitals app is for wellness purposes only and not for medical use.
I wanna get into my body.
I don't see how a car is an impediment to getting the roof, because you have her number and you could call her. So
Why didn't he ring my bell?
Hold on, stop. Go ahead.
Let us show you the property.
No, let me hear from you first. What happened here?
Well, I want you to show the property.
Well, I want you to answer my question. What happened here?
This is the plaintiff, Roseanne Fieser. She says she hired the scamster defendant to replace a roof. And what'd the guy do? He took off with her money. That's right. She paid him and he bolted on her, leaving her with nothing but a bad roof. Bottom line, he stole her money and she's suing him for the $935 she's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Anthony Lenza. He says he showed up at the plaintiff's home on 4 separate occasions to fix her roof, and each time she made it impossible for him to do the work. She breached the contract, not him, and now a year later, out of the blue, she sues him? What a country. He's accused of running off on a roof.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milan in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Fieser, you are suing Mr. Lenza for $935, $700 that you want back because you gave him a deposit for a roof he never did, and the rest for lost wages and having to sue him for it. What happened?
Last February of 2015, I hired Anthony Lenza to do my roof. And he told me then that...
How did you find him?
I knew him through mutual friends, and someone did recommend him.
Okay.
And I didn't even know that he did roofs. But I called him, figuring someone knew him, I could trust him. And he came to the house, we did the contract, I gave him a check for the deposit, and he said it would be done the week of March 9th.
And that was when, March
of
9th?
last year,
Of last year.
2015.
Okay.
Because it was cold out still. And the spring came and went. He did not come to do the roof then. And I ran into him last summer. You know, there was some phone calls exchanged.
And in the phone calls,
and he
what's
had
being said?
excuses that he had to complete jobs. He was doing a kitchen. He was doing a basement. And I understood and I waited until he was available, free to do my work. And it was excuse after excuse. And then in July of 2015, I ran into him being out one night. He saw me. And he said, oh, I'm coming tomorrow to do your roof. Well, tomorrow I was going on vacation for a week and I wasn't going to be around. So I said, Anthony, when I come back, we'll get this done. And the same thing. Then at that point, he had another job he was doing. He couldn't finish it. Cold weather started coming around again.
I was in July. I left on a winter cold weather.
But it was...
between July and cold weather?
There was an excuse after excuse to do it. He did
When did you finally get tired and tell him I want my money back?
In February.
Okay, he did claim?
He said that he tried coming to my house and there was a car in my driveway.
Wait, did you know he was coming?
He told me he would come, but he didn't tell me exactly when.
But not you had an appointment that day, that's the day he's supposed to be doing.
Right, because I would have made sure that my son was not parked in the driveway or my daughter.
Yeah, how hard is that? That's not that hard.
But even so, Your Honor, if there was a car in the driveway, I have pictures of my walkway going up to my house where there was plenty of room to put the material that he
Well,
could.
I mean, somebody would prefer to not have a car that they have to be careful about there. But
I
don't
agree.
I don't see how a car is an impediment to getting the roof, because you have her number and you could call her. So what
Why didn't
happened
he
here?
ring my bell?
Hold
Let us
on,
show you-
stop. Go
let us-
ahead.
Let us show you the property.
No, let me hear from you first. What happened here?
Well, I want you to show the property.
Well, I want you to answer my question. What happened here?
Oh, okay, what happened was, I got a text from her about doing her roof from a guy that I did the roof for. I did a roof for prior. And I went over there and I gave her, I measured the roof, went up on the roof, did my measurements and everything. And
The estimate was for how much?
$4,700.
Okay, and so she gave you, there's no dispute that she gave you a $700 deposit, correct?
No,
All right, okay. So, and that was in March of 2015.
yeah.
All right,
So
and
I
then
told
what
her I was going to
happened?
do it the week of March 9th. I called her a couple of days before, and I told her I'd be there the 12th. Okay? So Thursday the 12th, my guys got there and they called me up and said, there's a car in the driveway. What do you want me to do? So I called her and I left her a voicemail to call me back. I got a text, I'm at work.
Okay,
So
can I see, do you have the text from last year between you and her?
I have the thing where she called, where she texted me about doing the roof.
No, that's not helpful for me. I'm looking for some evidence that'll buttress one version or the other. According to you, he just absents himself and steals your money. According to you, she prevents you from completing it by having the car in front of the house.
No, not prevents me from completing it. She prevents me from starting it because
Right.
the property is only 10 feet wide, and the driveway takes up 8 feet of the 10
Right.
feet.
No, I agree with you. The walkway is not enough room to put roofing materials.
Okay.
And plus, you don't want to be careful about a car that's there.
Exactly, 'cause God
okay, I
forbid
got
something-
that. But here's what I don't get. I don't get how a year and something passes and there's
Okay,
no
I'm going
roof.
to get to that. We go back and forth, and then I actually called her and I gave her another date, which was 23rd. Okay, the 23rd we get there, and yada yada yada. The car's in the driveway still. So now I get disgusted. I called her up and I sort of left her an aggravating message on the phone that I'm done. Okay. So then, like
I'm sorry,
she said,
do you knock on the door? Because that's her son's car and her son's inside.
no,
Does anybody bother to knock on the door?
No, there was nobody inside because when I called her, she should have called me back and said,
Why don't you, I'm sorry, can you walk, that 7-foot walkway?
no, that's
No
my
one
guys.
walks over and knocks on the door. You're there to do a roof.
Well, I'm sure my guys did that, and
Well, you don't
they're
know.
calling me now at the point, telling me that no, they can't get the car out of the driveway. What are we supposed
Was
to do?
your son in the house?
If his car was in the driveway, he was.
Okay,
And no one rang the bell to tell him to move it.
Okay.
He would have.
okay. Go on.
Okay, so then, like she said, I was agitated at that point, and then I ran into her in the summer, and I said to her, I will, I'll get to it, like we're friends. I mean, I'm not a
Not
bad...
so much.
Well, I'm not a bad guy, trust me.
But you didn't return her money, and that's why she had to sue you.
Well, I didn't get up to that yet. So then all of a sudden she says to me, okay, and I make another appointment. But I did one better. Instead of making an appointment on the phone, I went to a house. And me and my guy went with me because my guy thinks I'm not giving it a mess about moving the car. So I said, let's go there 7:30 when she's home and we'll straighten this all out. Ring the doorbell.
Is it 7:30 at night or in the morning?
At night. So I'm going to give her another date. I ring the doorbell, the son and daughter answers the phone. They say my mother's working.
You ring the doorbell, the son and daughter answer the phone or the door?
The door.
Okay.
And they say to me, my mother's working late tonight. She ain't going to be home till 10 o'clock. I said, no problem. Tell her to call me. I never got a phone call. So I'm not going to chase her to do her roof. So now we get to the point where she wants her money back.
She claims that she was calling you and trying to get you to do the roof and that you were the
Come
one who was
on.
always busy.
Yeah, okay. Then, like I just said, we're coming to an unreasonable amount to send her back. She said to me, send me back $650. Keep $50 for yourself. I said, my time's worth a lot more than $50. I said, when you come to a reasonable amount, let me know. So then
I just don't understand. This is like it's so amazing that you could want your roof done and you could want to do it and that it doesn't get done over a car. I'm stunned at
Well,
this.
you just
He's
look at the-
100% right. You don't put a roof on with a car
I show
right
you
there.
the- can I
Stop
show-
talking. What are you? I'm in the middle of a sentence and you're yelling over me?
Why don't you see the picture?
Do you hear me? I'm serious. I don't think it's charming. Don't talk over me.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. How long do you have to wait? If you hire a contractor to, say, re-roof your house, and he doesn't come for a long time, how long do you have to wait before you say, sayonara, I want my money back?
I would say 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Sound reasonable? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Because you've re-roofed a lot of houses, right?
Yeah, I do.
I can tell. What do you say?
I'd say I give benefit of the doubt a month.
And then you say, I want my money back, I don't trust you.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
A roofer doesn't do a roof with your car right there. If you lived in a 20,000-foot estate and there's a car, then that's a very small portion of the space. But your car, it's narrow, and your car is taking up a lot of the room, and something's gonna fall on it, it's gonna get damaged, it's gonna create a lawsuit. So no one wants to do a roof with the car there. Now, if according to you, you gave her 2 dates, let's see if she agrees with you. Did you have an appointment for him to do the roof on March 20th?
Your Honor, if I knew he was coming to do the roof that morning, I would have made sure that car was out of the driveway.
So is that a yes or a no?
No.
Okay. Did you have an appointment to do the roof on April 23rd?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Not in my records.
Now here's what's going to have to happen. I'm going to have to see proof that you had an appointment with her, because she's denying that that's true. She says she had to chase you. She says that you never came to do it. And it boggles the imagination that somehow we can't get this roof done because of the car. Not because I think you should do it with the car there, but because all you need to do is knock on the door, call her, make her come from work and move the car,
She works in
make her
Manhattan.
get somebody, whatever it is. You could do something. You don't, listen, I've had roofs put on. Roofers don't go by ready to put a roof and keep driving because there's a car in the, that's not how it works. You got the day planned. If you were really there to do the roof, you would be invested in making sure that car got moved. You'd knock on the door.
That's not my obligation.
You could knock on the door. You would get her back or get her to get a neighbor. You'd figure something out. For an entire year, there wouldn't be this situation. This is absurd. You pointed to the lady next to you. Who is that?
My wife.
Okay, why did you point to her? You wanted to do what?
Because she remembers the times I came home.
All right, but she's not a witness to the events. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Go ahead, call her. Come on up, talk to me.
Said,
Okay, he came home from work, and I said, what happened? And he said, her car is in the driveway. I said, what? And he said, yeah, her car is in the driveway, and she's at work. I says, all right. Then he said he was going to try again, which he did the next month, and the same situation. The car was in the driveway.
Okay, I don't consider that a breach of contract on her part. I consider that poor planning on everybody's part. Either on yours or on hers or on both of yours.
Yeah, but...
No, we're done. Give her back the money. You don't get time for lost wages. Return the $700 verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff got $700 back. Mr. Lenza, the defendant's just come out. You were trying to say something to the judge. What did you want to tell her?
There was other things that she missed.
Like what?
She was bashing me on Facebook.
Well...
She made a big thing of this because she wouldn't move her car.
I don't think you can sue for that in court.
She made a big thing because she wouldn't move her car. If she had just left the car out of the driveway, you know somebody's coming.
We've heard that. That's the whole deal. She didn't move the car. All right, well, you got to give her the money back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Our officer's waiting for you to sign some documents, sir. Now, Ms. Fraser, you're on the way out of the courtroom. What a case. Unbelievable. I can't believe you couldn't have worked this out, and the car,
tried.
all over
We
your
did.
car, right?
We tried to work it out, and I'm glad the judge made this ruling because it wasn't fair that he took advantage of me.
All right. Well, was it really all the fact that you didn't move the car?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
You can knock on my door. My son would have moved the car,
All right,
no
cool.
problem.
You could have worked this out, I think. All right, our officer has some documents for you to sign. Harvey, your turn.
Doug, we have talked about this for years, but the key words here, the magic words, are time is of the essence. That means that they have to do it quickly. It's a legal thing. Time is of the essence. It means something, and it kind of scares the other guy. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle. Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay, courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This is the plaintiff, Paul Paldino. He says the defendant, his former fiancée, owes him for the engagement ring he bought her, and now that they've split up, she refuses to give it back. The scaredy cat defendant broke it off with him over the phone. He thinks she pawned the ring for cash, and he's here in the name of justice suing for the $2,775 the ring cost him. This is the defendant, Christina Medina. She says she left the ring at the plaintiff's parents' house when she went to pick up her belongings after they split. The plaintiff's just angry and jealous she's dating someone else. This lawsuit's a lame attempt by him to stay in her life, and she owes him nothing but a final goodbye. She's accused of breaking a guy's heart. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $174.94, the value of a chinchilla.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant broke up with him over the phone and she's keeping the engagement ring. But the defendant says she left the ring with the plaintiff's parents. He's just jealous about her new boyfriend. It's the case of, at the sound of the beep, you're single.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Paul Paldino?
Yes.
You are suing your former fiancée, Christina Medina, for $2,775 for the engagement ring that she refuses to return. You have a counterclaim against him for a chinchilla. Okay. Talk to me. What happened here?
We dated for about 4.5 years.
How old are you, sweetie?
26.
Oh my gosh, you look so much younger. How about you?
22.
So you got engaged?
Yeah, in July of 2014.
Okay. And what happened?
In November of 2015, Christina decided to break off the engagement.
That's a long engagement. And why?
I never actually got a reason. She broke up over the phone. She just said that she wasn't.
You broke up over the phone with
And
somebody
in
who you
person.
were with for 4.5 years?
No.
And in person?
And in person. I wanted him to know what I was coming over to talk about. I let him know because he's...
Okay, so then you came over and then you talked to him or no?
Yeah, I did.
And then why did you guys break up?
Basically because he got an opportunity to go to California and audition for a band. And he got in, and ever since then, he had been traveling back and forth. I went days without talking to him, weeks, and that turned into months when he went on a 2-month tour. And then when he came back, he was just colder, and he was different. And that's not what I wanted. And so I decided to leave.
Okay. And that kind of broke his heart, right? Because he did want you to stick around. So.
No, yeah.
Did she come over and then talk to you about it in person?
She did not. On November 16th, I believe, I have a timeline of events that I broke down, and she left to run some errands, and I didn't see her again until November 23rd, after she had made the phone call breaking up with me, so that she could come pick up some glasses because she was going to Florida the next day. And the date that she walked out to run those errands, we had ran into her ex-boyfriend, and that was the date that I didn't see her again. And then the day that I saw her where she came to pick up her glasses.
Is she back with her ex-boyfriend?
Yes. The day that she came to pick up her glasses, the next day she went to Florida with him. So the 10 days or so that I was not hearing from her.
Did you go to Florida with somebody after breaking up like that minute with your fiance?
No, it wasn't like that at all, actually.
Okay. So you didn't ask for the ring back right away?
Not right away, no.
Because you kind of thought, well, maybe this will patch itself up.
Correct.
Right. And when did you ask for the ring back?
The first written record I have of that is January 5th.
Do you remember when, though, in your head, when you asked for the ring back? Or is it pretty much the
Before
same?
that, I don't have a specific date, but it was probably sometime
And
in
what did
December.
she say when you asked her that?
She ignored it for days after that until she finally called to pick up more stuff, and she seemed like she wanted to reconcile things again.
All right, let me ask you this. So he asked you in January to give him the ring back. You're not getting married, and you don't give him the ring back. Why?
I didn't have the ring. I left it at his house. And
Really? Where'd you leave it?
I left it on a plastic filing cabinet in his room that he
Just
uses
left
as a dresser.
a several $1,000 ring without handing it back to him?
I went, and he was extremely emotional. We were both emotional. We were crying. And
Yeah, I know. So you're seeing each other. So
Yeah.
that's when you hand the ring back, when it goes
Well,
from
he was
your hand to
actually
his.
helping me pack all of my things up. And
And of course, your testimony is she did no such thing.
Correct, because the ring box was actually in my room, out in the open on that plastic filing cabinet. And her cousin had also come with her that day to help her collect those things. For a short period of time, they were in my room alone together, and the ring box was gone after that.
Oh, the ring box was gone itself. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, did you take the ring box?
No, I did not.
Okay, so according to you, you left the ring in the ring box, but didn't tell anybody.
No. I have text messages from him, and it wasn't January, it was February, when he tried to get in contact with me about getting the ring.
And what'd you do, ignore him?
In the beginning, I ignored him because I didn't have the ring.
Why don't you just answer? I don't have the ring. What are you talking about? I left
did.
it with you. This is a several $1,000 item. You know I left it with you. Why don't you say that?
Well,
Put your
I
hand
did.
down. Answer me.
So when does the woman get to keep the engagement ring? What do you say?
If he cheated on me, I would want to keep it.
You'd want to keep it. Do you think you have a right?
Yeah.
When does the woman have to get to keep the ring, even if you give it to her, but the marriage doesn't happen?
Well, the man gave it to her, so I think it's hers no matter what.
No matter what?
Maybe.
But the marriage didn't happen.
I understand that, but he gave it to her, so...
He gave it to her based on them getting married, and they didn't get married.
Yeah, that's a good point.
See? I'm a lawyer, going inside the courtroom.
Why would you ignore him instead of answering him? I mean, don't you owe that much to somebody you dated 4.5 years?
Well, because after I spoke to him on the phone, it sounded like he wanted to get back together. I even have a phone conversation that we had together, and he said, I still love you, and it's not about the money, it's about maintaining my dignity.
Yeah.
And I don't want your money. And I asked him why he's taking me to court.
And he said?
It's the principle of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're here.
Well, so your testimony is a little bit unbelievable that you would take a several $1,000 item and instead of returning it to the person you need to return it to, you put it in a box and, hey, I don't know where it is. And according to you, she said to you, maybe it's in my attic.
Yeah, there was an initial phone conversation where, again, she seemed like she wanted to reconcile things.
Did you ever seem like you wanted to reconcile things?
I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings because I know that he was hurt.
Were you trying to reconcile things?
I was not trying to reconcile things.
Have you been with that other boy? That other gentleman?
Not until we were broken up.
Okay, but I meant, are you still with him is what I meant.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I do have text messages from Christina during this time period saying that she misses me, that she was happy with me. So to me, that does seem like she wanted to reconcile things. And I do also have a text message on my phone from January 5th, which is much earlier than February, that she's claiming that I asked for the ring. So if you needed to see that,
I do. I want to see the text messages between you folks in January and February. Are you a musician?
Yes, I am.
What do you do?
Electric bass.
Okay. You're counterclaiming for the chinchilla. Tell me about that.
Well, I bought the chinchilla in September 23rd in 2014. And the chinchilla had lived with me, and when I moved in with him, the chinchilla moved with me. And when I moved out, I didn't get my chinchilla back. And after speaking to him, after speaking to him on the phone, he said, if you can have your chinchilla back when you give me my ring back.
No, but the ring didn't even come up until January. If you left in November, was it, or October? When was it?
Yeah, no.
Why wouldn't you take your chinchilla with you? The chinchilla is like a rat, right?
Yeah, but she's got a huge cage.
Okay, so why didn't you just take your chinchilla with you? You chose not to take it?
No, he has a huge cage. Everything for the chinchilla was there. I couldn't fit all of that in my car.
So you left the chinchilla with him. How is it that now you want the chinchilla? I mean, the chinchilla is not a gift in contemplation of marriage. The ring is. And by the way, you sound like you want to get back with him in January. Because if I get a text from you that says, yeah, I just forgot, how long have you been gone? I left the 20th. Wow, I told you. Yeah, I just forgot. It was like a lifetime. Well, and then he tells you, well, I haven't stopped thinking about you, and you send him a heart. And then you say, I know, I've been trying to let go, but I don't think I can. So it's not in your head. Where's the chinchilla?
It's in my room in our house.
So you've been taking care of the chinchilla all this time?
Yeah.
When was the first time she ever mentioned taking back the chinchilla?
March 9th, I believe. I have it in a recorded phone call.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yep. Sure.
What'd you do, pocket his phone?
Well, I want to make sure we don't forget it after.
Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, so I was gonna ask you about Olive.
Uh-huh.
I want her.
Okay, well, we could talk once I get the ring back.
Okay, do I also have to make another thing where we both have to come back to court again? I mean, I'm cool with it.
I can't hear you. Do you have to what?
No, I said I got the paper, so like I'm cool. But I mean, I literally don't have your ring, so.
Well, what did you do with
I know
it?
that-
Because you didn't leave it in the house. You took the ring box, so.
Well, we'll settle that in court. But now this is something different, and I'm asking because I don't want to have to go to court again.
Well, you go to court over what?
Over a chinchilla now.
I mean, you could take me to court, but I highly doubt they would grant you custody with the way you treated her.
All right, so I'm going to have to file something else. Great.
Just
All right.
counters
You May
too.
25th.
Cool, whatever.
Great. See ya.
That's what we've come to. All right. On your counterclaim against him for a chinchilla that you made absolutely no effort to get, it's clear that that was a posturing on your part, and I'm going to deny. No, put your hand down. I'm ruling.
Wow.
I'm going to deny your counterclaim that chinchilla has been there since the day you broke up, and here's a phone call where you're saying, I want to talk to you about Olive. I want her in March. No.
Yes.
No. Done. And on the ring, it is your obligation to return the ring, not to say, I left it on a counter, or I left it on a filing cabinet, or I left it on whatever. It is your obligation. Because, look at me when I'm talking to you.
I am.
Don't like go while I'm talking to you.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, right, okay. It is your obligation to return the ring. And if you don't say here, which I suggest people do in front of witnesses, frankly, okay? If you don't do that, and you can't prove you returned the ring, which according to your own testimony, you didn't hand it to him. He's the guy you got to hand it to. You think you could go to the bank and say, oh, but I left my mortgage payment there. You guys didn't get it? That's not how life works. I am ordering you to pay him, reimburse him the $2,775. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff gets the money for the ring back. Medina,
Yes.
you're Miss Medina. It looked like you wanted to say something to the judge there at the end. Your mother's just walked off.
Yeah.
What did you want to say to her?
Well, I have a recording of Paul asking me if I really want my chinchilla back. And so he's willing to give me my chinchilla back. Also, I think that she already read whatever the case was and already made her decision because of the way...
She based it on the
All right.
testimony and the evidence submitted.
Okay, well, if you say so, have a good one.
You lost it. Where is the ring, by the way?
His home.
All right, here comes Paul now. Paul, what do you have to say about this?
Nothing. Just feeling good.
Do you still have feelings for her?
At this point, no. I'm not planning on
about
continuing.
this experience, has this kind of changed your feelings even a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say quite a bit.
I would think so, too. You feel okay?
I feel great, just happy to be rid of her.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for this case. Harvey, interesting. What do you think?
Okay, Doug, most states, you get the ring back, the guy gets the ring back if the marriage doesn't work out because it's called a gift in contemplation of marriage. In other words, there's a string attached. If you don't get married, the gift doesn't happen and you get the ring back. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Giacomo Galetto. He says he hired the defendant to move some of his stuff into storage while his place was fumigated for bed bugs. And when his things were returned, things were missing and broken. He tried reaching out to the defendant. The guy's ignoring him. And he's suing here and now for the $1,656 he's owed. This is the defendant, Daryl Watkins. He says he and his men dropped the boxes off at the plaintiff's apartment and left. There were lots of people in his place that day fumigating for bed bugs. Bottom line, everything he picked up he returned. He has no idea what happened to the plaintiff's things and feels the judge will agree. He's accused of having sticky fingers.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to fumigate his place for bed bugs, and when it was done, stuff was missing. But the defendant says it's all BS. It's the case of the bed bugs aren't the only thing that bites.
I've been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Giacomo Galetto
Yes.
or Gialetto?
Galletto.
Galetto. Nice.
Galletto.
There's 2 years of Italian in high school. Giacomo Galetto, you are suing the defendant's company that he works for. What is your role in that company?
I am an assistant.
You're an assistant.
Yes.
The owner sent the assistant here. Doesn't want the name of the company mentioned, but you are a transport company,
Yes.
right? Movers.
Yes.
Okay. For $1,656 that you say you are out as a result of their negligence. Tell me what happened.
So in February of 2015, last year, I had a bed bug infestation in my home. So
A bed bug infestation?
Yes.
Ugh. Do you know how you got it?
I got it, but it took a little bit of hard work. One of that was that I needed to get rid of all belongings in the home apart from the bed, the couch, and I mean, even the couch was all completely.
How long had it been? I'm just curious about this because that's so insidious. How long had it been a problem in your place?
3 weeks probably since I detected, and then calling the people because I had to wait for I live in a condo, so they had to inspect all the other
Right, that's what I was
apartments
going to say.
around.
Do you know how the bed? Like, did you travel and bring luggage back?
I have no idea. It's the first time it happened in my life. First time I even heard it. When I talked to my relative, my parents in Italy, they were shocked because they haven't heard about that since 1930s probably.
Oh my gosh.
They don't
right.
exist.
And yet it was in every fine hotel in New York for, quite a bit of time.
And at the beginning, I didn't understand it was such a difficult thing to do. And instead, it became a big ordeal. And in fact, I had to remove everything from the place. And because
literally everything in the apartment you removed?
Yes, because at some point they had spread apparently probably also in the kitchen area. So I removed everything.
Wow.
So I emptied everything.
Did you pack the stuff yourself?
I packed it partially at the beginning with my friend Filippo. Was the first night came there. And
Ooh,
especially
that's a brave man. Because let me tell you, I don't care how close we are, I would never be going to your place.
I went naked.
It's perfect.
You went naked? Is that what you...
I just left all the things outside the door and went inside, and then I went.
I don't have photos though to show, but
Oh
it's
gosh!
true. It's
All right,
true.
so you packed everything, and then did they pack anything of yours, or no? You packed it.
Yeah, we did partially something, we just organized the previous evening, and then they came the morning after to pack and put it in boxes.
So
and bring
you
it
guys were hired to pack, seal the boxes, remove the boxes from there.
Well, the boxes was already there and stuff like that. They had the holes in it so that way the fumes and stuff can get in
They
there.
had holes in the boxes.
Yes, so we didn't really have to pack anything. The only thing that we had to do.
Did you pack nothing? Is that what your testimony is?
We came in to remove the items and pack them into the truck.
No, I know, but did you pack any boxes?
No.
They
Is
did
that
pack
false?
some boxes.
They
did.
passed boxes.
They
Do you
did
have your
boxes.
contract that you signed with? You weren't one of the movers, right?
No, I was the driver of the truck. Just I had to sit in the truck.
You sat in the truck?
Yes.
Okay, so, all right. Can I see, so you have no idea what the guys upstairs are doing. Let me see the contract.
Well,
You didn't bring the contract?
yes, I have a.
Okay. That's not a contract. That's a piece of paper with typing on it. Was there a contract beforehand for an invoice that says what they did?
I don't think I left it in the office. Yes, there was a contract, but I have
Is it just me who thinks that if you go to court, that you should bring a contract?
One would think.
I mean, is that because I'm demanding? What is this?
Well, that's the.
That's not a contract. I've been doing movers cases my whole life. That is not a contract. Where's the actual movers contract?
That's what we have.
Where's the one where the signature is?
We don't have that.
Why don't you have it?
It must have got lost doing the.
So somebody typed this up and then you shove this in my face like this is a contract when I asked for the contract? You think I'm an idiot?
No.
I think you do. Because someone who respects me would say, we've lost the contract. It's okay. He didn't even bother to bring it. He left it in his office. But do that. Don't shove a piece of paper and say, that's our contract. You and I both know this is not your contract, right? This is not what you guys have clients sign. You have a real contract, like real movers, with a bunch of real limited liabilities and exclusions and everything else, right?
What's worse, cockroaches or bed bugs?
Bed bugs.
Really? Why?
They last a long time.
Cockroaches or bed bugs?
No question, bed bugs.
Really? Any cockroach fan here? Anybody? Cockroaches?
They're just gross. I wouldn't.
Oh my God.
No.
Going inside the courtroom.
Now, they take those boxes and transport them where?
To the storage location where they would do the fumigation at.
And it comes back to your place, because that's the second part of your job is to go ahead and deliver everything back, right?
Yes, redelivery.
All right, you deliver it back, and is he there when you deliver it?
Yes.
Did you sign anything saying everything's hunky-dory?
I just signed, there was a piece of paper that was, honestly, the entire thing was like, there was some kind of lack of professionality, honestly. So just let me explain. Already when they arrived 2 hours later than what it was planned. And I finally unpacked, I asked Filippo to come help me. I unpack everything. And I was looking first for the Bible things. So one is the stereo was there, it was okay. And
what was there, it was okay?
The stereo was one of the most valuable
Stereo.
things, but it was fine. Then I had this espresso machine, which is a designer espresso machine. It was a present that I got for my wedding, and it's a $700 machine. And I go to make a coffee with him, and it's not working. It leaks water everywhere, and it doesn't prevent the temperature from stopping at some point. It goes to 140 Celsius, which means that it can basically about boiling. Then I had an Indonesian trunk to put things inside, and they've broken a big piece of that, couldn't close it and open it anymore. And then I was looking for an iPhone. It's an older, I had already a new iPhone. That was an iPhone 5, and it's not there anymore. And other things are not well packed, but it's not really relevant.
You're saying that they stole your iPhone 5.
I don't think they stole it. I think that they lost it.
But they didn't open your boxes, right? You folk, I don't even know if I feel like nobody's even on that side, no offense, but you don't know anything that happened. Was it your job to open boxes?
No, we don't open anything. When the stuff comes, it comes sealed. Like I said, the boxes had holes in them so that the fumes can get inside of them. Everything was returned to him. It's no reason for us to open up.
But they packed it, so I don't know when this happened. It could have happened when they were packing.
See, I find it suspicious. This is where it becomes important to see the contract. He says that he paid you to pack some of it
yes.
too.
No,
and
most
if you
of it.
Well, why don't you bring the contract and then we can prove it, right? That's why it would be nice if you brought the contract. I would see them charging you for packing. And then you don't bring it. He says you guys packed some of the stuff, and he says stuff is missing. He also says stuff is broken. What evidence do you have that the espresso machine's broken? And do you have pictures of the Indonesian truck or video of the espresso machine malfunctioning or anything like that?
Yeah, I have pictures, I have videos.
Let me see.
And on the phone?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, look at that. It almost looks like there's a piece missing that funnels the water.
No, I tried it. I expressly told them there are some of the items to be careful. That was one of those.
Did you take the espresso machine anywhere to see how much it would cost to be repaired?
No, because it's not in New York, so.
I mean.
Well, I'm not going to pack it. It's a big thing like this. It's complicated.
Don't do it. But if it can be repaired, you don't get the full value of the actual machine new. This is the Indonesian trunk.
Yes.
And that got whacked. And they moved that?
Yes, they moved everything, yes.
And what was your evidence on the trunk?
No, I don't have.
You didn't bring any evidence on the trunk.
No, because
Okey-dokey.
I searched and
Yeah, all right. So what I'm going to award you, I'm going to award you on the trunk what I think it might cost to get the trunk repaired, because this is something that can be repaired. And you said this was a wedding gift, the espresso machine?
Yes.
How long ago?
2005. Rarely used though.
Yeah, but it's an 11-year-old espresso machine.
Never
So
used.
even assuming that they were indelicate in their handling of it, you would be entitled to the depreciated value of an 11-year-old espresso machine. That's what the law is. It's not the replacement value, and it's not the price of it at the time either. As far as the phone is concerned, I don't think there's sufficient evidence of anybody stealing your phone. I don't know if that's just one of those things that got lost during the move or what. There was a lot of chaos going on to try to remedy the bed bug problem. As far as the damage to the trunk that you've brought me zero evidence of what a new trunk would cost, I'm going to estimate what a repair would be, and I'm going to award you the depreciated value of the espresso machine for a total judgment that I am ordering the defendants to pay the plaintiff in the amount, not that you're asking for, but the amount of $500. That is my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So here's another case of lack of evidence hurting both parties in this court case. Our plaintiff, Mr. Galetto's just come out of the courtroom. How do you feel about what the judge decided? She did the best she could.
She didn't ask what my witness wanted to say. So.
Well, he said he was there naked. I don't know. What I mean is you didn't have enough evidence to convince her you deserve $1,600.
Well, that's why I brought also.
Do you have written evidence? Any hard evidence?
I did.
No.
Yes, I did 600. I have the evidence that I show for the only missing evidence was on one of the three pieces. There were three pieces there.
The judge examined everything very carefully. She gave you $500.
I'm okay. But
better than nothing. You okay?
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Still, I can't buy a new espresso machine, but it's okay.
Well, you can get 3/4 of one.
That's fine.
Okay.
I got 3/4 of one.
Good enough.
I got
Take him
3/4
with
of
you.
coffee.
He'll help you. Okay. You have to sign a few documents outside, and you can get out. Keep your clothes on and go. Okay. Thank you very much. Now the defendant's on his way out of the courtroom. You're kind of the uninterested party almost. I mean, you didn't have much to do with this at all.
I didn't really think that we was liable for any of his items being broken and stuff like that. So I don't think that we had to pay for the stuff. We were just transporting them from one to the other.
So you can go back and tell your boss you came out okay. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Harvey?
Okay, Doug. If you hire a mover, I'm telling you, you got to listen to me on this. You take pictures of everything before the move as it's being packed, and you take pictures immediately after the move when stuff is being unpacked. It is the only way you can prove if the movers did the damage.